Alright guys, by popular demand, I am going to be planting culantro, which is an herb grown mostly in the tropical regions of the world, especially Puerto Rico. And I brought these seeds about 3 years ago from my father's house. They are super tiny, and I tried to grow them on my aero garden, but I failed last month. It's been, what, 4 weeks and none of them have grown. But I used a different type of seed, the seeds that I grew in Jersey, but these come directly from Puerto Rico. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a whole bunch and add them to these small pots and then fill them up with dirt. You see that? Tiny, tiny, tiny. So I'm going to spread it around here. I'm going to take a few more. I'm going to spread a bunch and see if some of them will grow. These take a long time to germinate, usually about 2 weeks, so be patient. Now, where can you get them? Well, these you can only get them obviously from someone that lives on the island. If you know someone in Puerto Rico that can send them to you in the mail. But obviously the seed pots have to be very dry before they pluck it from the plant and put them in an envelope. Now there's another company in Puerto Rico, in Isabela, where I bought my gandule plants or my gandule seeds from, and I'm gonna link it below, and I'll put it right here on the screen. The name of the company, it escapes my memory right now, but you can order seeds from them, recao seeds, and they'll send it to you within a week. And it's cheap. I'm gonna guess about $8 to $10. But remember that it does take a little bit of time for these to germinate and for them to grow to full size. Now, some of you have been following me for years, and you see me grow them in New Jersey when I lived in Jersey about 3 years ago. Well, 2 years ago I grew them. I didn't do anything last year due to the pandemic, but the year before, 2020, I definitely grew beautiful recao plants. And my wife uses it for cooking. You add it to the rice and beans and meats. Oh my God! And sofrito, you can use culantro or recao. Culantro is I guess the actual name, but in Puerto Rico they call it recao. You can use recao for sofrito. Oh, it gives the foods an outstanding taste. Probably my favorite herb of all of them. So I'm gonna water it and just leave it here sitting for a week or two until they germinate, keeping my fingers crossed. As you know, guys, yesterday I lost a chick. I thought that maybe it was a hawk that came and grabbed one of them, but I didn't see any signs of a hawk on the ground. And what I mean by that is that normally when a hawk grabs a chicken, they leave a whole bunch of feathers on the ground, and there were none. However, as some of you know, yesterday afternoon or late in the afternoon, we saw a fox walking around this area right there. And I believe now that it may have been a fox. Let me explain. First, I'm gonna go in there and turn this off. The chicks have been all cooped up all day. I didn't want to bring them out today until I'm ready. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna come in, let them loose for the first time today. It's about 7:30 right now, and I'm just gonna sit here with them and just watch them until maybe for an hour or so, until they go back in and go back to bed, because it's about that time for them. But first, guys, I'm gonna give them some feed and water. I usually top it off at night and again in the morning. All wings on deck. Oh yeah, they're happy. Check it out. I'm giving them grit. This is El Guapo, all the way to the left, by the way. And the one on the right is El Jefe. Oh, they're all excited. Ooh, starting to hurt. Here you go. As some of you know, I used to have 15 chicks, now I only have 14. Now, like I said a minute ago, there is no sign of a hawk. I just thought it was. A hawk can easily fly down here, grab a chick and fly away. But I changed my mind about that. After seeing that fox yesterday late in the afternoon, now I believe it was a fox. And what I believe happened was that the fox may have come up to the fence area, even though that fox cannot get in here, because as soon as an animal touches that electrified fence, it's gonna get zapped. Mosquito. Once that animal gets zapped, it's gonna get scared, and it's gonna hopefully just go away, right? But what I think happened, and I've seen this happen before with me when I try to catch the chicks inside of the fence area, when they get spooked, they will go right through the fence. Not the bottom 3 rows, the next 3 rows. What happens is they go, oh, by the way, they just heard a crow or a hawk, and they got scared, and immediately they went up to the coop door, so they know. But anyway, they can go in through those 3 rows if they get scared enough. I've seen them go right through it. Now, they don't get zapped because of their feathers. They don't feel it. They're too small. And once they, like I said, 7, 8 of them did go through that fence. 6 were inside. Now, once they go through that fence to the other side, they don't know it, but they become very vulnerable to any predators out there, including that possible fox in the morning. I'm sure the fox, if it was a fox, I'm sure it grabbed my my little Isa Brown. I'm sure that was the culprit. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. We did see a fox late yesterday afternoon, so I assume that after he grabbed one of my chicks in the morning, he came later that night or later that afternoon for a second one. What am I gonna do? I left them all cooped up all day because I don't want them roaming around this area during the day until tomorrow. What I did, my wife and I, we went to the depot, we picked up some wood because I want to build a run. Yeah, it's a crow. And it spooks them, by the way. I want to build a run. A 4 foot high by 4 foot wide by 8 foot long run. And I'm going to attach that run right there to that, to the face, to the side of the coop. And then on the 3 sides of the coop, on the bottom, I'm going to put chicken wire on 3 sides. I'm going to leave this open, obviously, so when the chicks do come out, they can go under the coop. Now that run is going to go from the wall of that coop all the way up to about here, because it's going to be 8 feet long. They're not going to be able to roam in this area, at least not for now. Not until they grow big enough so they don't go through the fence. Hopefully within 4 weeks they'll be relatively big. They're not going to be able to go through that fence even if they wanted to. And the fence is 48 inches high, so I don't think they're going to be able to fly over it. I mean, I could be wrong, but you never know. So again, the plan is to build the run, test it out for a couple of days and see what happens. Now the run is going to I'm gonna build it with 2x4s and chicken wire. Yeah, even a plane flying overhead spooks them, and they go under the coop and inside the coop. See that? Yeah, so whatever happened yesterday really freaked them out. And they know that there's one of the Isa Browns, one of their friends is missing. So, and that's what you're here for. You're gonna watch me tomorrow. I'm gonna build the run. It's something that I dreamed up this morning. I've never built a run before, but hey, there's always a first time for everything, and tomorrow is gonna be that day. Now with the run, it's gonna keep them here inside of this fence area. They're not gonna try to go through that fence. They're gonna be inside the run. It's gonna make it impossible for them to leave this area. And obviously, the fence is gonna be electrified, and a fox, coyote, nothing's gonna be able to come in here. Supposedly, everyone recommends Premier One fencing. It's electrified, and you saw me test it. I get anywhere from 5 to 8,000 volts at all corners of this fence. We also had moose. Did you know that? Yeah, my neighbor saw a moose in her front yard 2 days ago, and that moose came from my property. So it went from here all the way over to their property, and yeah, because we have kind of like a wet area not far from here, and supposedly that's where the moose are. I haven't seen it, but if I do see it, I'll definitely take pictures. I did see the fox late yesterday afternoon. My wife was screaming, "Ovi, there's an animal! There's an animal out there by the coop." Well, the fox came from that side, from the shed where my wood is. It moved from that driveway where the metal rooster is, and it was headed this way when my wife saw it and spooked them. And I came running down the steps. I almost fell down the steps, by the way, and because I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what kind of an animal it was. I thought it was maybe a bear, a moose. Well, a moose won't eat chickens, but maybe a coyote, wolf, who knows. So anyway, I'm just gonna stay here with them until they're ready to go to bed. And it is getting close. I think it's about, I don't know, maybe 7:40 or so by now. I'm just gonna stay with them here, let them kind of like free range for a few minutes. El Guapo again, El Jefe's missing a tail. I don't know what happened to him. I think one of the ladies must have chewed him out. And that's Carmen over there. These are the 3 Wyandottes. You see their necks? They're golden laced Wyandottes. Look at their feathers. Look at their necks. And the one behind Carmen, she's a Barnevelder. Beautiful colors, but the neck and the head is, she has black feathers. And obviously the Australian black Australorps, they're mostly black. They do have some white feathers. Notice the feathers at the bottom of the wings on that one, and they have kind of like a greenish hue. Not right now, it's not very noticeable, but when they grow, yes, you'll be able to see that greenish hue on their feathers. And this is the Isa Brown. They allow me to touch them and pet them. They are definitely the friendliest chickens ever. Notice that most of the Barnevelders are still up there. They are skittish, and they can run. Oh, those chicks. All right, guys, so it's 8:15. I told them to go to bed. I think they understood. Check them out. They're all in bed, fence is on, and if anything comes around, tries to get in, it's gonna get zapped. So in a few seconds, I'm gonna start building the run. Will it work? I'm pretty sure it will. It's only temporary for about maybe a month or so. It'll buy me some time. It'll give me time to think, what else am I gonna do to protect my flock? Even in the hard times.